calling it a love song.
What is up, my awesome gemstones? It's Mary Gem and I'm back with another video, and today's video is going to be on assumptions about you. Okay, all the vibes, you know, so let's get straight into it. Pile number 1 says face or faceless. Okay. Pile 2 says for December, October, January. Pile 3 says character arcs. And pile 4 says Michelle Love. So these are the 4 piles. Okay, pick whichever one you would like to. If you'd like a personal reading, my details are down below. And yeah, let's get straight into the video. Also, yeah, down below are the timestamps as well. Okay, yeah. Alrighty, what is up, my awesome gemstones? It's Mary Gem and I'm back with another video, and today's video is going to be on assumptions about you. Okay, so this can be about when somebody meets you for the first time, like just what they assume based on solely your appearance, your vibes, your energy. It even could be just like scrolling on Instagram and someone assuming something about you, or just in general like what people always assume about you. And yeah, all the vibes, sending love and light. And let's get straight into the video. Okay, if you'd like a personal reading, my details are down below. And yeah, okay, so pile number 1, you guys chose face or faceless. Okay, so let's see. I feel like an assumption. Okay, wait, there's no. Okay, super sorry about that, but I feel like we're just gonna have to deal with the noise. I'm so sorry. So yeah, okay, pile number 1, what are some assumptions about you? I feel like something that people assume about you is that you are definitely a Gemini. I feel like you have lots of different facets about you, because I feel like certain people will argue about your personality, where it's like some people will say this person is the most kindest, you know, selfless person ever, and then I can see other people saying like no, they're actually really kind of mean and like kind of heartless. And I feel like it's kind of like the stereotype of being an Aquarius, where people say that Aquarius people are the most unemotional signs. They're so like low-key and everything, and I'm like, yeah, Aquarius are all the vibes. But I don't know about y'all, but all the Aquarius people I know are emotional as heck, and I freaking love it. I'm a water sign, so like if people are emotional, I'm like, hell yeah. So I feel like people are just always assuming that you are like maybe unemotional, but then you're actually really emotional. But yeah, let's just get into your cards and get into the reading. Okay, so your channeled message says I wonder if you're wearing a mask. Sometimes I don't know if you really like being around me. You're so confident and you always seem to know what you're doing. When you mess up, everyone still loves you, but when I do it, it's not the same. You eat and don't gain weight, wear weird clothes, and you like horror movies. So yeah, I feel like people are always assuming if you're wearing a mask. Sometimes when they hang around you, they can't tell if you really like them. You could definitely have like a resting bitch face, or you have the sense where you come off as really unemotional, but genuinely you have like the biggest heart. I know a lot of Capricorn people are like that. Like recently, a Capricorn friend that I know, they opened up to me and I was so shocked. Like it was the first time they've ever like opened up and spoke about their feelings in like, let's just say a 10-year period of knowing them, and I was just like, damn. And I was shocked. I was flabbergasted, you know. So yeah, I feel like people are just always assuming that you don't like them and that maybe that you're insecure, but actually you're really confident, you know. You just seem to be yeah, kind of like a contradiction, a paradox type vibe. I feel like people really like you, but they're kind of saying it's unfair how you can do this and this and this and people will still like you, but when they do the same thing, it's like really unfair, you know. I think it has to do with privilege, where like certain people, if they have a certain privilege, they can get away with certain things, but then people that don't have that privilege, they aren't so lucky. But we're not gonna get into all of that, okay? I'm gonna pull out or take out 2 other things. Let's see. What do people assume about pile 1? Okay, so we got the Virgo self-critical. People feel like, or people assume that you're someone that is very self-critical. You don't really ever celebrate yourself. You're always working really hard, and you're also really hard on yourself in general. Okay. And then we have the Gemini talkative. Okay, so people assume that you're really talkative. So you could definitely be a Gemini sun and then a Virgo moon, or a Virgo moon and a Gemini sun. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that Geminis are always super hard on themselves. They can really be huge perfectionists, just like Virgo. And that's why I feel like Gemini and Virgo are like really compatible. And I feel like they're like the underrated couple. They're like, yeah, like people don't like Gemini and Virgo like really good together, you know. Sorry, everybody's home, so like, but yeah, Spirit, thank you so much for being here. I'm truly grateful. Can I please get an accurate reading for pile 1? What are assumptions about pile 1? What are assumptions about pile 1? Alrighty, so the first card that we have is the 5 of Wands that came upright. So people assume that you're someone that's always dealing with a lot of inner conflict. I feel like you're someone that always has something that you want to do, but you never ever act on it. Not never ever, but I said never ever. So yeah, I feel like you don't always act on your impulses, because I can see people like, maybe you see someone that's really attractive and you want to talk to them, and people can see you want to talk to them, but then you always like, you know, take a step back and you're always like, should I do this? Is that a good idea? What if they don't like me back? But like, you're really confident. I feel like there are times when you, because 99% of the time or 98% of the time you know what you're doing, you're confident in everything, but then there's this 2% time where you show a bit of your insecurities, where sometimes you aren't as confident and people are always just like, what's going on? Like, is something wrong? You know, you could definitely be that person where you're really outgoing, you're always smiling, you're always known as being, you know, the jokester friend. And I feel like people forget to check up on you, and then when you aren't smiling, they're like, is something wrong? But then it's kind of like your mask is coming off, you know. Sorry, my throat. Okay, and then we have the Strength card. So you could definitely also be a Leo, just talking about you know, your confidence. I feel like people view you as being someone that's really brave. You know, you say things that other people don't. And yeah, I feel like people do assume that you have a lot of privilege. 100%. You could definitely be the opposite of POC. So yeah, I feel like you have a lot of privilege. Maybe you also could like have a lot of masculine features about yourself, and people assume that you're really masculine. And then we have the Page of Swords that came upright. People assume that you're a student and that you're younger than you actually are. I feel like you're actually like older. Okay, sorry, I don't know why this does not want to focus. Okay, there. I feel like you're actually older than you look, but people always, you're older than you look, but people always assume that you're younger for some unknown reason. I feel like you look like you're older, but people are always like, nah, like they're so young, they're so this, and like you're just like so full of the energy and everything. I feel like you still have this energy where you're not gonna give up, where you're still ready to fight, you know. Yeah, I remember I was talking to this one Aquarius person, and they were telling me that they kind of gave up on trying to convince their parents about like their ideals. And then I don't know if I was like saying, oh, but I haven't, or something, and then, or like it was the other way around. And anyways, like this person, they didn't give up, you know. They were kind of like, I know it's a tough fight, I know that there's probably like there's a 2% chance of me winning, and like the odds are like against me and everything, but I'm gonna try anyways. So I feel like people always see you as being that 1%, that person that's kind of like, no one can really do it, but somehow you always find a way to do it, you know. You could definitely be a problem solver. We have the 5 of Pentacles that came upright. I feel like people always also assume that maybe you're going through a bit of a financial struggle, or I feel like people know that you're someone that's not really good with money. You like spending money on a lot of things, and sometimes when you're self-critical, you can be really critical on other people as well. I feel like Virgos are so hard on themselves that when they start opening up to like other people, it sounds like they're criticizing you, but then it's kind of like, if you knew behind the scenes how much they criticize themselves, it's insane. I know a lot of Virgo moons and Virgo suns, so I kind of understand where they're coming from. Let's see. Thank you, Spirit, for being here. What are some assumptions about pile 1? Thank you, Spirit. What are assumptions about pile 1? What are some... Ooh. Okay, we have the Two of Pentacles that came upright. You aren't afraid to show off who you're with. I feel like people assume that if you're with someone, you let everybody know. They feel like you aren't embarrassed of your friends. You're actually really proud of your friends. Yeah, I can see you posting your friends on social media and you praising your friends or your family, and like you aren't ashamed of where you came from and where you grew up. You know, maybe you have a job as, like, let's say a waitress, which is completely fine. And then I feel like you aren't afraid to say, hey, like, shit, I'm broke right now. I'm working as a waitress and I have other 2 jobs also. I'm busy failing my classes. I can see you not being shy or like ashamed to like admit that stuff, you know. Spirit, what are assumptions about pile 1? We have the Knight of Cups that came upright. A Jack of Hearts. So this talks about you being someone that is really romantic, okay? People assume that you're always looking for a new relationship, but you don't ever engage in one. So it's like you talk about love, but you never engage in love. It's kind of like a therapist that has their life falling apart, where it's like a contradiction, or like a dentist that has like the worst teeth ever and like loads of cavities. You'd think that a dentist would have the best teeth, or that a nail technician would have great nails, but shit, you know, it doesn't always work like that. So yeah, then we got the Queen of Hearts that came up, right? People assume that you kind of have like a mama thing, maybe mommy issues, or you're into older partners. I'm hearing that you have a lot of masculine energy, and yeah, people always assume that you want to go for older people. Like, you don't want people your own age. You want to go for like, if you're masculine, you prefer feminine people. Baby, no. Sorry, my dog is being, yeah, I'm busy filming, baby. Her name's Baby. But yeah, so that is what I got for pile 1. I really hope the video resonated. I love you so much, and let's get into the next one. All right, pile number 2, you guys chose for December, and then we have January and October as well. All right, so I feel like pile 2, people assume that you're definitely a Taurus. I'm 100% getting Taurus energy. You seem like someone that, how do I say this? Okay, you remind me of my brother for some reason, right? So he always had the smallest room in the entire house, and like, he's my older brother and I always had the biggest room. I'm the youngest, and like, even though we had the smallest room, he always had the coolest room. He always made do with what he had, and I feel like you're giving off that energy where, let's say for example, you're going to a 21st party, or you're going to a party in general, and the invitation said casual. You're about to show up in literally the most bougie shit ever. You're about to come in, makeup full, you know, full face of makeup, nails did. You're gonna come up rocking up in your Jordans, coming there and like being all slick and smooth. I feel like people always assume that you're being flirtatious. People always assume that you're flirting with them. I just feel like you have a very extravagant personality. You know, it's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's Halloween. All these months, December, January and October, these are like months where it's about celebration. So I feel like people assume that you love Christmas, that you're someone that is really bubbly, you're really into the whole decorations, you're really athletic. People assume that in high school you were probably like prom queen, prom king, prom whatever, whichever gender you are, that you were royalty. Yeah, you were royalty. People assume that in high school you were probably part of the debate team. You were just like really active in your community, in your high school and all that stuff. Like, you don't shy away from extravagant things and, you know, putting in the effort and like showing up for people. I feel like you could, if people assume that maybe you have a child, And I feel like they say that you didn't ever seem like the person that would be a good parent, but they were shocked because when your child was born or when you adopted them, like, you're actually an amazing parent. You know, you're definitely giving like full dumpy vibes. I'll insert a photo. Like, you're giving off him. If you watch Modern Family, you'll know who I'm talking about. So let's get into your channel message. It says, I don't remember how we met, yet somehow I don't remember a time not knowing you. You're that person that moved out at 16, had crazy ideas like Meet the Robinsons. You never stayed quiet and always wanted to be loved. You were never scared to show people how desperately you wanted to be loved. Oh, okay. So pile number 2, I feel like you as much as you're someone that's really extravagant, I feel like for some reason people always put you in the back. You know, I feel like maybe in high school you try to be that person that would always show up. You would always try and dress really, you know, extravagant. You would always try and be the talkative one. And I feel like you did that kind of because growing up you felt like you weren't heard. I know I read something somewhere, they said people that have a lot of tattoos and piercings were most likely not heard growing up. So they tried to decorate themselves and they tried to reinvent themselves because they didn't feel like they had an identity growing up. So I feel like people can get the sense that they can see that you have pain, they can see that you want to be loved, and you aren't afraid to show people that you want to be loved, you know. So if you're always butting yourself in conversations when you aren't involved, they can see that you're only doing it because you want to be included, you know. Like, I can see you inviting yourself out to places and you weren't even invited, but like, it's only because you have your valid reasons. You definitely also might have a mental illness, so people just assume that, like, let's say you have ADHD, so they know that sometimes when you're telling a story it's a bit sporadic, you know, you aren't always telling it in the right order, or, you know, sometimes you're telling a story and then you tell another story while you're telling another story. So I feel like it's kind of like they never know what they're gonna get when it comes to you. But yeah, people assume that you probably moved out at 16, you know, you wanted to have a great invention and that you've always wanted to be magnificent, and like, you remind me of like Mr. Fox for some reason. I know that there was a quote where he said, I want people to think that I'm the amazing Mr. Fox, because if they don't, then I don't feel good about myself. So I feel like you want to be loved, you want to feel validation from other people, and if you don't, you get sad, and I feel like people can kind of tell. I hope I'm not talking too fast. I'm gonna just slow down. The messages are coming in really fast. So yeah, let's see what else people assume about you. We have the funny card. People assume that you're really funny. Okay, you're always making jokes. And then we have Libra, name brands. So people always, yeah, like I said, you know, up with your Jordans, your Nikes. People assume that you're a Libra. You know, Libra is how they are in social events. They're just always doing the most. They're amazing. And yeah, they like looking nice. They like harmonious relationships. Okay, let me put this a bit down. Yeah, okay, thank you so much, Spirit, for being here. Can I please get an accurate reading for pile 2? What are some assumptions about pile 2? What are assumptions about pile 2? Ooh. Okay. So the first card that came out was the 7 of Cups that came upright. People assume that you can be a bit of a player, okay? I'm hearing that people knew you as the person that always had huge ideas. You were always changing your hairstyle, always changing different careers. You always came with different energy. I feel like you definitely could be a witch. I feel like you do aura magic, or you work with different auras and chakras, because I'm seeing you showing up somewhere, like at church. Like, maybe you aren't a Christian or something, and then you'll go to church and you'll, like, I don't know, like, you'll enhance your sexual energy just to, like, ruffle up some feathers, or I can see you going to protests and like, let's say going to a pride event and there's some homophobes. I can see you kissing your girlfriend, or like showing off your queer friendships in front of people that are like homophobic. I'm getting that vibe. You're kind of just like a rebel. You're kind of like, I don't give a damn but my reputation. You know that song, I'll link it down below. But yeah, I feel like people also know you as someone that does talk shit about people behind their back. Yeah, you moved out, you like riches, you like your peace, so you love your peace, and you're friends with a lot of different people. We have the Justice card, so definitely you could be a Libra, or you have a Libra rising or Libra Venus, and people always assume that you are a Libra. So people assume that you're really fair, you know. I feel like you have a lot of ideologies and like belief systems, and you are really confident about it. I don't know why, guys. Let me see what's up with my... Why is this taking so long to focus? Okay, there, that's better. I think I fixed it. We have the Ten of Swords that came upright. People assume that you are usually the person to break up with someone. You've never been broken up with. You're the breaker-upper. Okay, you're the breaker-upper. People assume that you aren't afraid to cut people off and leave things behind. You will start a project, be obsessed with it, and then find another fixation. Queen of Swords, you cut people off. You say what you said and you don't stutter. You're like, did I stutter? Okay, that's an ableist thing to say, I'm really sorry. But you'll be like, you'll say what you said, and it's kind of like you said what you said, and that's it. You know? And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So you're always changing, you're always doing different things. You never stick to like one thing. You're just doing new things all the time. Thank you so much, Spirit, for being here. I'm eternally grateful. Can I please get an accurate reading for pile number 2? What are assumptions about pile 2? What are assumptions about pile 2? Seven of Swords. People assume that you've probably been in a third-party situation, and you've probably had a lot of relationship drama. You've probably been in love triangles and like, you know, festive season, guys. You don't live in South Africa, but I'm gonna teach you guys something. So in Africa, in South Africa, we have this thing called it's Focal Festive, or like it's festive season. So basically the entire month of December, it becomes a lifestyle. Whatever you do in festive stays in festive. Whatever happens in December stays in December. Like December is Las Vegas, you know. It's like if Las Vegas was a month, it would be, yeah. I don't know if that made sense, but you seem like someone that would partake in that. You seem like someone that would go to Las Vegas and get married on a whim. Okay, what do people assume about pile 2? Four of Pentacles that came up, right? But for some reason you value your peace. Like I can see you getting married and being like, I just want to have peace, guys. Like it's like it's cool being a Libra. Libras are so chaotic, but like they love peace, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, definitely comment down below if you guys chose this pile. I'd love to know more about you. If you'd like a personal reading, my details are down below. And yeah, let's get into the next one. Alrighty, pile number 3, you guys chose character arcs. So if you don't know what a character arc is, it's basically in movies or in series, books, it's about a character that's being introduced, and then they have a huge arc where maybe there was someone that was really rude and nasty, and then they had an arc and they became the most selfless and nicest person ever. So I feel like people always assume that you have this kind of like, I want to say that you seem really similar to pile number 1, where like, nah, you seem like a hopeless romantic. I feel like people assume that you're someone that is really loving. You're definitely giving off Cancer vibes. You're giving off main character energy. And I feel like people know that you say things that you don't always mean. I feel like people assume that you're probably like, yeah, a musician, an actress or something. That you're always going through something, that you're really moody, really emotional. You cry at sad movies. You just seem really sweet, honestly. I feel like people love your energy because it's always just really welcoming and really nice and really wholesome. You're kind of just really welcoming towards everyone and you never discriminate. I knew it. I knew it. So your channeled message says, not gonna lie, sorry, not gonna lie, the first time we met, I thought you were hot as fuck. I still think so, but I didn't know how emotional you really were. You cry a lot and try really hard to impress people. I thought everything you did was effortless, but it's not. You try. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, it says, you try. And then a quote that I wrote down is, ever tried, ever failed, no matter. Try again, fail better. So you kind of remind me of those motivational videos that you watch on YouTube. Like, you know, those people that are like, you know, you're gonna wake up today and you're gonna work. If you're tired, you're gonna work. Like, you're giving Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart inspirational videos. You're giving Denzel Washington. You're giving POC. Yeah, it's giving POC. It's giving working hard. It's giving, okay? So yeah, let's take out 2 cards. And for some reason, I feel like it's really hard to assume things about you just because I feel like you already know who you are, like deep down in your core. And you're probably watching this video for fun. You're just like, you know what? Let me just see how people see me. I mean, assumptions about me. I don't really care. Because you know who you are. And yeah, like I feel like people just see you as someone that's always seeking failure, in the sense that you aren't afraid to fail so that you can do really well in life. You know, like I'm seeing you, like it reminds me of my dad. I remember he told me growing up, he was always put in the dumb row. He was put at the back. And I mean, now he's like an IT engineer and like my dad's doing great. So it's just about like, people think you can't do it, but then you always exceed their expectations. And I feel like that's how people assume. People are always assume the worst about you, and then they find out actually you're a really nice person, you know? So it says Capricorn, sexy, okay? You're hot. People assume that you're sexy and that you're sexually active. People assume that you're not a virgin. Okay, then we have Taurus, always put together. You're always put together. And then we have Leo, pretty. So, you know, first assumption, you're hot. I feel like when people meet you for the first time, it's just like, you're hot. You're hot. You're hot. You know? You're hot, okay? So let's see. Thank you so much, Spirit, for being here. I'm eternally grateful. Can I please get an accurate reading for pile number 3? What are some assumptions about them? What are assumptions about pile 3? Ooh. Damn. Okay, so the first card that we have is the 10 of Wands that came upright. People assume that you're a really hard worker. I feel like everything that you've gotten in your life right now is because of your hard work. Like, that's what I was busy saying. Like, you're giving motivational speaker vibes. So you might even be a motivational speaker, or you're always trying to look at the positive side of things. You try not to be pessimistic. You try always to just make people feel better. If someone's sick, you make them cookies. Like, you're giving caregiver vibes, Cancer vibes. Cancer, Pisces, Aquarius, definitely Aquarius too. But yeah, earth sign energy, Leo, Taurus, and Capricorn. You work really hard for a lot of things, and you always have a lot of things in your brain as well. We have the Sun card, okay? Again, talking about fire sign energy and just being a really positive and, you know, a light worker, basically. We have the Page of Pentacles. People assume that you're really educated, that you're really smart, intelligent, and that you value education. We have the Four of Wands. People assume that you want to have like a big wedding and that you want to live in a big house and have like a white picket fence. People assume that that's what you want to do in your life. Like you want to have it all, you know. You want to have kids, you want to get married, you want to have a big wedding. Thank you so much, Spirit, for being here. What do people assume about pile 3? What are some assumptions about pile 3? Okay, we have the Five of Wands. People assume that you aren't afraid to deal with conflict. I feel like whenever you're dealt with setbacks, you always try to look at the half glass full vibes. Spirit, what are assumptions about pile 3? Ten of Cups. You're really loving and caring and nurturing. What do people assume? Thank you, Spirit. What do people assume about pile 3? What are assumptions about pile 3? We got the Eight of Clubs that came upright. Let me check. People assume that sometimes you struggle with your mental health, and you're always changing jobs, and that despite certain circumstances, you always keep your head held up high, and you always maintain a professional outlook. You can be stubborn and sometimes struggle to express your emotions, but you're always determined. Your birthday could definitely be on the 28th of March, and you're not swayed by other people's opinions. Oh my word, it stopped recording and I'm so sorry. I don't know where it stopped, but I was basically just saying that you're determined. Your birthday could be on the 28th of March. You're not swayed by other people's opinions. You have a lot of psychic power and a lot of principles, and you're able to learn a lot of different things. So that is what I got for pile number 3. I really hope the video resonated. I love you so much, and let's get into the next one. Okay, pile number 4, you guys chose Michelle Love. So I'm going to insert a picture of Michelle from Skins. You know, it's just giving her, I don't know why, but I like her a lot, and I feel like you kind of give off her energy. So, you know, you could definitely have, you know, big titties. I don't know why, but I'm seeing that you have big titties. Or like you have like a really nice vagina, or like a really big dick. I'm just seeing people meeting you and immediately like objectifying you, which is not good. Do not objectify people. But I do feel like sometimes people see you as just what you do for a living, or they see you as just how you look. People sometimes see you as being very surface level, you know. Like I'm seeing, for example, maybe you dedicated your entire life to being a pianist. Yeah, a pianist, I think that's how you say the word. And then I feel like every time you go out somewhere, people are just like, oh, play the piano, play the piano. Or let's say you're a tarot reader, and then people are always like, give me a free reading, give me a free reading. I just feel like sometimes people kind of take what you do for a living and they just make it your entire personality, and they don't see beyond it, you know. Or it's like if you're someone that's really attractive, I feel like sometimes people don't even like, I don't want to say they don't respect you, but it's giving that. I feel like sometimes people just don't even think about who you are on the inside. It's just about what you can offer them. I'm busy hearing that you could be a spicy accountant. If you don't know what that is, you guys can Google it. But there's this documentary that I watched, which was, I don't know why, it's my favorite documentary. It's called Hot Girls Wanted, and it's about these girls, these women that are in porn. And there was this one thing that she said, and she was like, as long as you have big boobs and an ass, that's all that matters. They don't really care about how you feel or who you are. I mean, it's just like, it's just what you can offer them, you know. So I feel like sometimes people assume that just because you do something, you're gonna do it for them, you know. Because you do it for a living, you'd want to do it for them for free, pro bono. People assume that they can walk all over you. Let's see. So your channeled message says, you are so cool. You must be a model or a hip-hop dancer. You have this swagger, I don't give a fuck energy. Aries vibe. You're a singer or musician. From overseas, rich, bougie, never single, you're a drinker, a smoker, sometimes basic, and you'd be a great partner. So yeah, I feel like people see you as someone that's super cool, like you have really cool interests. Maybe people always assume that you're a dancer or a model. You could be tall, you know, tall, dark, and handsome. You could just be any ethnicity, any pigmentation, all of the vibes. And you have this swagger, so maybe you dress really cool, maybe like oversized vibes, or like you just dress really nice. You have a nice style. So yeah, I feel like people also assume that you probably drink and smoke, and that you'd be a great partner and really fun to be around. So let's see, it says addicting. Oh my god, that's so crazy. So it says that people assume that you're a drinker, and then literally we got addicted to drinking or something. So people assume that you're in active addiction. People assume that you're probably addicted to something, or you were addicted to something. You've been through substance abuse, you've done the things, okay? And then we have Sagittarius, flirtatious, okay? People assume that you're a Sagittarius, which is basically a party goer, and yeah, someone that's very flirtatious. Thank you, Spirit, so much for being here. Can I please get an accurate reading for pile 4? What do people assume about pile 4? Okay. So the first card that we have is the Three of Pentacles that came upright, okay? So I feel like you're constantly having to defend your reputation, because maybe people are always assuming things about you, and it's kind of like never true, and you never really address the rumors, but when you do, it's kind of like you have a lot to say. Maybe you're someone of little words, but when you do speak, it kind of makes an earthquake. So yeah, I feel like you enjoy having intellectual conversations with people. You enjoy collaborating with other people. You enjoy hearing other people's thoughts, even if you don't agree with it. We have the Hierophant that came upright. So definitely Taurus energy. People assume that you're someone that likes to talk to people, that you're really talkative. You like sharing your knowledge with other people, and you're not someone that will gatekeep anything. We have the Nine of Pentacles. So people assume that you love being single, but you'd be the best partner ever. You love yourself. You see yourself as beautiful, attractive, handsome, and you love your life. You're like living the life, you know. We have the Four of Swords that came upright. People assume that right now you're like healing, and I feel like you've told people that you're healing. You aren't afraid to talk about your spirit guides and your spirituality, your religious beliefs. You aren't afraid of what you believe in. So if you're religious, you'll tell people, hey, I'm religious. Or if you are spiritual, you'll say, hey, I'm spiritual, you know. And you let people know. If you have to go home and meditate, you're gonna let them know, hey, I have to go home and meditate. We have the Six of Pentacles. People assume that you have a lot of money, definitely, and that you're really generous. I just feel like you aren't someone that gatekeeps. If you know something about someone, you'll let them know. You don't gossip or skunner. Skunner is gossip in Afrikaans. So yeah. Let's see, Spirit, what do people assume about pile 4? What do people assume about pile 4? We got the Two of Swords that came upright. People assume that you went through a really hard breakup. Maybe sometimes the way you talk about love can be a bit cynical. Or I feel like you have certain viewpoints about relationships that people are kind of like, oh, like I wonder what that means. Or you speak in riddles sometimes. You say things and that have deeper meanings. Three of Swords. People assume that you've been through heartbreak. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles again, just talking about you loving your life and being single. Spirit, what do people assume about pile 4? Queen of Clubs that came upright. You're popular, you're outgoing. Let me check. You're a bit aggressive sometimes. So you could have a darker complexion. You're really charismatic, powerful, emotionally reserved. Again, talking about you being an amazing partner. You fear commitment. You could be a Sagittarius, outgoing, graceful, very likable, popular, have a high intuition. You don't like people that are lazy. You work really hard, and you can be really impulsive sometimes, and you always want freedom. Sometimes you use your brain over your heart. So yeah, that is what I got for pile number 4. I really hope the video resonated. I love you so much. Don't forget to comment down other video suggestions, and if you'd like a personal reading, my details are down below. I love you so much, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.